Story 1. Camping trip turned humiliating. A woman, 31F, has been dating her boyfriend, 35M, for 3 years, living together for 1. They've known each other since high school. Recently, they went camping with friends, and 2 incidents left her shaken. While setting up a bug net together, her boyfriend, who had been drinking, suddenly started taking it down. Thinking he was adjusting it, she helped. When she asked what he was doing, he snapped, "You took it down, so we're not using it." She explained she thought he was adjusting it, but he brushed her off with whatever, leaving her to quietly put it back up. Later, while she was starting a fire to cook, she asked a friend to grab her a stick to move some logs. Out of nowhere, her boyfriend stepped in aggressively, using an axe to poke at the fire while sarcastically explaining which parts were hot and which were cooler. He ended with, "You got that?" in a condescending tone. She was stunned, and when her friend returned, her boyfriend started claiming that she talks to him like he's stupid. She repeated his exact words aloud, which led to him storming off to nap in the car. When he came back, he ignored her completely until the next day, when he apologized for losing his temper. But soon after, he turned the conversation into how she was mean to him. In the discussion that followed, he admitted he was drunk and anxious, but she pointed out this was a pattern. He lashes out, minimizes his actions, tries to twist the narrative, and gives vague apologies. He promised again to stop drinking and fix things, but she's heard it before. Now she feels humiliated, confused, and emotionally drained, unsure if she should try to make it work or walk away. Story 2. Young wife of ALS patient facing divorce. A 22-year-old woman is married to a 26-year-old man who was diagnosed with ALS in April. His condition has progressed to the point where he can't dress or bathe himself. She's a full-time student and mother to their 11-month-old baby. She also works through delivery gigs like DoorDash to cover her personal bills. Her husband earns around $70 a year, owns a successful business, and they live rent-free in his mother's house. Despite this, he refuses to help with her bills, less than $1,000 a month, and instead pays his family's expenses. He's pressuring her to sell her half-paid-off car, which she needs for work, school, and childcare. She takes care of his meals, laundry, personal care, and keeps their room clean. Yet he tells her she does nothing and doesn't deserve to go out or relax, claiming she already has too much fun. She struggles with severe anxiety about going home and has no safe place to go. Local shelters only offer daytime support. She fears that if she leaves, she'll be homeless and her husband will fight to take their baby, even though he physically can't care for the child. The final push came when he found her post on her phone and began making false posts online to defend himself. She has decided to file for divorce the next day, but is still facing uncertainty, fear, and financial instability. Story 3. College prep, girlfriend, and scheduling drama. A 19-year-old guy is in a bit of a scheduling conflict with his girlfriend, also 19. Right now, he's driving from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, back to his home in Virginia. In just a few days, he's heading off to Florida State University for the fall semester. Because it's a 2-day drive, he's leaving home on August 15th, even though classes start later. That leaves him with only 4 free days at home. About a month ago, he and his girlfriend, who lives 2 hours away, agreed they'd spend one of those days together on August 13th. They'd have a sleepover, catch up, and he'd pick up some of his things he left at her place earlier in the summer. The 11th and 12th are already taken up with back-to-back dentist appointments, so the 13th was their agreed day. In the meantime, he planned to spend his remaining free days packing, prepping for college, and hanging out with friends who live close by, usually at night once he'd finished his daytime tasks. His girlfriend wasn't thrilled to hear about those friend hangouts. She felt it was unfair they'd see him more often than she would, and that it showed she wasn't a priority. Now she's asking him to also visit her on the night of the 12th so they can have 2 nights together instead of 1. But he's already made plans with friends that night and feels his schedule is already tight enough. He's not sure how to handle the situation without making himself more rushed or causing more tension. Story 4. After the breakup, he suddenly helps a 25-year-old woman recently broke up with her fiancé of 7 years, and something strange happened. He suddenly started doing chores and buying household supplies. One of their long-standing issues was that he didn't help much at home. He'd say he was too busy with work to clean, and he rarely spent money on shared items like toilet paper, trash bags, or a better vacuum. But after they broke up, that changed. Now he's washing his dishes, stocking up on bathroom items, and even buying a brand new vacuum just for himself. She suspects it's because he's preparing to move out and doesn't want to share. The sudden change frustrates her. She can't help but wonder, if he could put in this much effort now, why didn't he do it when they were together? It feels selfish and manipulative. At first, he told her he'd be moving out in September, but his apartment applications fell through. She can't afford to move out herself, so for now, they're stuck living together until at least December. She's working full time, just graduated with honors in July, and he also works full time with a higher salary. However, he doesn't contribute more to bills because he bought an expensive truck and has poor credit. She's planning to have a friend move in once he's gone, but until then, she's trying to stay optimistic about a future without someone who didn't appreciate her efforts. Story 5. The Ex Who Hid a Marriage. A 32-year-old man is still dealing with the fallout from a relationship that ended a year and a half ago. His ex, 30, is connected to him through a tight-knit community, shared culture, the same work industry, and overlapping friend groups. After their breakup, he tried to keep things friendly for the sake of their social and professional circles. But a year ago, he decided to cut off contact entirely. The problem is, she won't stop trying to reach out. No matter how many times he blocks her, she finds new ways to contact him. The longest he's gone without hearing from her is about 4 months. Recently, they bumped into each other at a gathering through a mutual friend, and she still tried to drop small hints of affection, like she wanted to reconnect. When they first started dating, she hid something huge. She was married. She later told him it was just a visa marriage so she could attend grad school in France. According to her, she and her husband had been separated for about 6 months before she met him, and they never lived together as a real couple. The two dated long distance for around 6 months, and she talked about wanting a future with him, but said she needed to sort out her complicated divorce first. Eventually, she broke up with him the same week she moved to his area, saying she felt overwhelmed. Later, he learned she actually thought he wasn't committed enough, even though he was trying to work through the situation with her. They tried staying friends for 8 months, but she was always vague about her ex, while still giving him just enough attention to keep him hooked. Then he caught her lying about spending time with her husband and went no contact. Her last message to him months ago claimed he didn't understand her life or struggles. On social media, he discovered that her husband still seemed to view them as a couple, which makes him think she was cheating on him with him. Now, even after all this time, she still tries to reconnect. And he's learned from social media that she and her husband are still actively spending time together. She doesn't know that he knows who her husband is, and he doubts the husband knows about the relationship they had. He's torn between ignoring her entirely and reaching out to the husband to tell him what's been going on. His gut tells him she just used him as a fling and possibly as a source of attention or validation. At best, she wants a shallow friendship to keep a connection without having to truly show up in his life. At worst, she's trying to manipulate and control the situation for her own personal gain. TLDR, his ex lied about being married, claimed it was only for a visa, and said they were separated. They broke up after 6 months, but she never respected his no-contact boundary and still reaches out a year and a half later. He's recently learned she's still close to her husband and is debating whether to tell him the truth.